Hi, kindergarten. This week we are starting a new project, and this project is going to kind of incorporate a couple different things we learned this year, like shape, pattern, um, lines, texture if you want. You could add a little bit of shading, like when we learned about form. Um, but I want you guys to be able to have a lot of freedom with your choices, so I'm not really going to stick a specific category to this project. This might be our last project of the year because I think right now we have about 3 weeks left. So this is going to take us, I think, two, and then we might maybe have room for one more, but we'll see. But anyways, what you're going to need today is a piece of white paper, some crayons. If you happen to have watercolor paint, then you can choose to use that. But as you go along, I'll talk about like what you could use for materials, but definitely we want to use crayons, okay? So we are going to start by making an ice cream cone. So I'm going to press play. I'm going to start with brown for my cone, and I'm going to draw a big letter V. Once I have the big letter V, I need to draw a little roof on top of the V to make it a triangle, like an upside down triangle. And this is like a sugar cone if you've ever gotten ice cream before. Now, I wanted to add some texture and some detail, so I'm doing a diagonal line going from one side over to the other side. And then I'm going to crisscross those lines with another diagonal line, and it gives it the effect of a sugar cone, okay? And you can see I just draw it right away with my crayon, my brown crayon. If you are somebody who wants to plan it out with pencil first and then trace over it, you definitely can. But then our next step is adding the ice cream scoops, okay? Now, you can make as many ice cream scoops as you want. I'm going to make three, um, but you guys can be as creative with it as you would like, okay? So to record your, to create your ice cream scoops, what you are going to do is you are going to make kind of an arching rainbow shape, or line, I mean, and then you are going to do a bumpy line underneath, or a wavy line, it kind of looks like. And it's connecting from one side of that rainbow to the other side, and it's like a closed shape now, all right? And like I said, you can make as many as you want. I tried to make mine kind of the same size. You definitely want to make something that is going to fit nicely on your ice cream cone. And if you notice, they're all kind of spaced out because eventually we will be cutting these out, okay? So I have my purple one, I have a blue one. I chose to do my third one pink. You guys can have the choice to pick whatever color you want, okay? And then what you're going to do is start to design your ice cream. You can have it be, oh, I forgot that I wanted to add a cherry on top of mine. So this is something that you guys can do. I did a red circle. I'm taking a white crayon and I'm adding that little highlight, just that little mark, and you'll be able to see it when I paint over it. But just like in that last project with the balloon animal dog, we had those white areas that showed up. And then I made a stem, and I wanted to make sure that it was wide enough that when I cut this out, it wouldn't cut off my stem. So now we're going to go into designing our ice cream, and you can make yours realistic if you want. Maybe you put sprinkles or toppings. I do kind of like dots, flowers, hearts, different patterns like that. So I'm just going to fast forward this. You can see I do some spirals. And again, you can pick kind of whatever colors you want to use. Here I'm doing hearts, and they're all kind of going in different directions, going off my ice cream. And then my video cut off, so I'm going to have to open the other one for us. And so I'm going to do my last one. Oh, yeah, I did have some difficulties where I um, left it paused by accident. But so for my last one, you can see I already painted over it, but I did some pink flowers and some green leaves that kind of got covered up with my paint. Um, and I know that this is a lot right now, but I am trying to make this a two-step project. But so your next step is going to be to color in your ice cream scoops in your cone, and if you chose to do a cherry. Now, like I said, I'm using watercolor paint to paint right over this. If you don't have watercolor paint, you can use that marker and paint technique that you used in the last video or that I showed you. You could use color pencils. You could use crayon markers, whatever you would like. Okay, just you want to be careful that you're not going to ruin whatever design you did. And so when you are coloring it in, again, you can be as creative as you want with coloring it. So this one I do all yellow, and then I do a little bit of orange kind of blending in to make it look shaded a little bit. So I did one side orange only, and it kind of looks like it has a shadow to it. My last one, I do purple that kind of blends into a red, like a red violet color, and then into a normal red. And then for my ice cream cone, I do dark brown, and then I have it fade. I wash my paintbrush off and I try to blend it out so one side is dark and then it kind of fades lightly. So if that's something that you want to do to make your ice cream cone look realistic, like it's round, like an actual 3D shape cone, you would do one side that is really dark brown and then have it fade into a lighter brown. So I did that by putting a lot of brown on my paintbrush, doing one side, and then I washed my paintbrush and I slowly blended it with water. Okay. And then the last thing I was doing was my cherry. And you'll see the little highlight show up right there. That's because I did that little white area with crayon. Okay. You are going to put this aside to dry. And then next week I will talk to you about a background that we're going to create. Okay, so I know that this is a lot today, but I hope you guys have a lot of fun with it. I wanted to pick something that was close to summer or related to summer because it's almost summertime. So I hope you guys have fun with it, and then I will chat with you next week. All right, bye, kindergarten.